bite! No! One more bite!
How would anyone bother with college when there's such an easier way to make money? Hi, I'm Angel, and I figured it out the day my brother called me into his room to watch him stream online. As I stood behind, staring at his monitor, I noticed his viewers started to multiply. In less than 10 minutes, 5 of his annoying friends grew to over 100 people. My little bro was freaking out. He'd never had that many viewers before. But that didn't make any sense. It wasn't like he suddenly got better at Fortnite. And then it hit me. Those desperados didn't give a shit about him. They were all joining to stare down my top. Little creeps. Disgusted, I turned and walked away. But on my way out, I heard the sound of a cash register. One of the perverts had donated money and was begging my little brother to get me to come back into the stream. I guess that's when I began to appreciate just how important gaming was for our economy. So, being a true patriot, I set up my own account the next day and started streaming. To make up for my lack of skills, I spent ages doing my hair and makeup and changed into a low-cut top before going online to shake my moneymakers. It wasn't long until all these thirsty guys came out of nowhere, acting like they'd never seen a girl before. Pretty pathetic, really. But whenever any of them donated a decent amount, I made sure to give them a big public thank you so they felt special. Soon, I was making enough to drop out of college and start streaming full time. I pretty much only left my PC to use the bathroom and sleep. But it began to bug me that those interruptions were costing me money. So I did some research and ended up ordering a couple of packs of adult diapers with soft close tabs online. I was hoping they would help me solve one, or two, of my problems. To be honest, wearing a diaper was a little distracting in the beginning, and things just didn't happen naturally. When I got to the point where I couldn't hold it any longer, I literally had to force myself to let go on stream. Thankfully, the anti-leak leg cuffs worked like a charm. I was so relieved. And no one even noticed. And I didn't lose even a single viewer being away from screen. But about 2 weeks into my diaper wearing sessions, disaster struck. I'd managed to clock up almost 8 hours of uninterrupted Minecraft when I bent to scratch my leg and felt it. Oh no. I made a desperate dash to the bathroom to change myself, hoping no one would notice. But when I got back, I slid into my chair, only to see everyone commenting "WAP" in the chat. To make matters worse, someone noticed my diaper. During my mad rush, I'd forgotten to tuck my top back in properly. I was busted. With nowhere to run and nowhere to hide, I had to share my secret. So I explained why I was wearing a diaper, and at one point, I might have even mentioned how comfortable it was. Suddenly, my donation sound effects started going off like never before. Slowly at first, and then building to an absolute crescendo. My fans were trying to out-simp each other, pledging their allegiance and telling me that all e-girls and streamers needed to wear adult diapers. I couldn't believe my eyes. I ended up making over $3,000 that session, and I've been crushing it ever since.
Feast your eyes on IHOP's Halloween menu.
Hi, I'm Teresa, and I know this sounds bad, but I'm in love with my mom's husband, Paul. Paul is my stepdad. My real dad took off after my younger sister was born. I was only 5, so I don't remember much about him. Growing up, Paul's the one who was always there for us. Sure, he took out the trash, mowed the lawn, and did other dad stuff. But it was more than just that. He was always interested in what I was up to, and that made me feel special. But when I was about 14, my feelings for Paul started to change. Whenever he hugged me, or his hand accidentally brushed mine, I felt something different deep inside. That's when I realized I was attracted to him. I tried to talk to the school counselor about it. I told her how I'd leave my bedroom door open a little at night and peek through the gap, trying to catch a glimpse of Paul when he came out of the shower. She said it was just a phase, and that I'd probably grow out of it as I got older. But I didn't. So, to distract myself, I started dating boys my age from school. "Who's the lucky guy?" Paul would ask teasingly whenever I announced that I had a new boyfriend. "I hope he's good enough for you," he'd say, encouraging me to set my standards high. But none of them ever made me feel the way Paul did, and that became a problem. Because I started thinking about Paul more and more. I'd imagine him holding me and telling me he loved me instead of Mom. In my head, I knew it was incredibly selfish and very, very wrong, but I couldn't stop. Sometimes I feel like I had this angel sitting on one shoulder, telling me to ignore my feelings, but on my other shoulder, the devil was in my ear, telling me to flirt with Paul and see if he responded. The two were constantly battling, right up until last week, when Paul came home late on Friday, after going out for drinks with friends. Mom had gone to bed early, but I was still up watching a movie when he staggered in and plonked down on the couch beside me. "How's my little Teresa?" he asked, stretching out and putting one arm around my shoulders. It felt nice being that close to him, so I leaned back into his arm while we chatted for a bit. Then Paul asked about my boyfriend. "He's okay, but I don't think it'll last much longer. He's pretty immature. I need a man, like you," I told him. Paul pulled his arm out from behind me and slowly turned to look at me. He reached over and gently lifted my chin with his hand. Our eyes locked. He bent his head towards mine, and I closed my eyes. In my head, I knew this was it, the moment I'd been waiting for. I took a deep breath, smelt the sweet stench of beer, and then it happened. My eyes flicked open in disbelief. Shocked, I watched as Paul stood up and clumsily headed upstairs. I must have sat there for like 20 minutes crying before I finally went up to bed. Paul spent most of the next day outside, doing yard work, probably trying to avoid me. But I needed to talk, so I made him a sandwich for lunch and took it out with a glass of ice water. Awkwardly, I sat down beside him while he ate. "How do you feel after last night?" I asked. "Not too bad now, but I woke up with the biggest hangover," he said. "I shouldn't have drunk so much." Paul handed me his empty plate, said, "Thanks, sweetheart," and went back to trimming the hedges, like nothing had ever happened. I love Paul so much, but I'm confused. I don't know how he feels, or if he even remembers what he did. He was pretty drunk. Should I keep trying to talk to Paul, or just forget it even happened?